Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is Thursday, a surprisingly beautiful day outside, but my brain is currently trapped in the chaotic fluorescent lit hallways of General Hospital. We need to talk about what just happened because I am spiraling. Okay, so I've been thinking about this and my mind is just racing. I literally cannot sleep because the implications of this one single scene at General Hospital are they're massive. Actually, wait, let me back up. I need to start from the beginning because if I don't, I'm going to lose my train of thought. We all knew the Windermere hostage situation was going to end badly, right? Ross Cullum is an absolute menace, Cassius Faison is a total fraud, and poor Jocelyn Jacks was trapped right in the middle of it. But then Jocelyn actually takes Cullum down while she is wounded, which is insane and iconic. But basically, she ends up rushed to GH, and Carly is doing her classic Carly panic. She is frantic, pacing the halls, and Lucas is there trying to keep her grounded because he's a doctor and that's what he does. And then Z shows up, the mysterious Z, the head of the WSB, and he's impressed by Jocelyn. Like, really impressed. Here's what's bugging me. Why is the head of a global intelligence agency personally trying to recruit a college-age girl in a hospital room? I mean, I know she took down a highly trained, albeit rogue agent in Cullum, but still, it's weird. Like, really weird. The whole thing is just weird. Is the WSB that desperate for talent? Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Z has an ulterior motive? But then again, that doesn't explain why he would risk exposing himself to Carly's wrath. Carly hates the WSB right now. They raided her house looking for Valentine Cassadine. They basically caused this whole mess that got her daughter shot. And now this guy in a tailor suit is standing over Jocelyn's hospital bed talking about her bright future in international espionage. I think it was episode 12 or 13, somewhere around there where Carly swore she'd destroy anyone who touched her kids. So Z pitching this to Jocelyn is basically poking a bear with a very short stick. Anyway, the point is... Wait, what was the point? Oh, right, Sonny. Sonny Corinthos walks into the hospital. He's there to check on Jocelyn, which makes total sense because despite the divorce and everything that has happened over the years, he still views her as family. He walks into the room, and the tension is already thick enough to cut with a surgical scalpel. Carly is yelling at Z, Lucas is trying to de-escalate the situation before hospital security gets involved, and Jocelyn is probably just lying there wishing she had more pain meds. Sonny steps in, probably ready to just throw his mob boss weight around and tell Z to back off. But then he looks at Z. He really looks at him. And the camera does that slow zoom, you know the one? Where the background gets slightly blurry and you just know a character is having a massive, life-altering flashback. Okay, wait. First, I should mention the scar. Z turns his head slightly to address Carly, and there is this very distinct, jagged scar on his neck. Probably doesn't matter, but I noticed it immediately and thought, that looks like an old knife wound. That's a weird detail for a guy who sits behind a desk in Geneva. And Sonny sees it, and you can physically see the blood drain from Sonny's face before it immediately rushes back in pure, unadulterated rage. I'm sitting here late at night rewatching this scene and I'm like, wait, do they know each other? And then it hits me. The Puerto Rico gang wars. I mean, not exactly, but kind of. The lore from years ago. Let me dive down this rabbit hole for a second because I am obsessing over it. Years ago, long before Sonny was the undisputed king of Port Charles, he was building his empire, right? And there was this massive, bloody conflict in Puerto Rico. A rival faction almost completely dismantled Sonny's organization. And it wasn't just rival mobsters outgunning him. There was a traitor. An inside man who sold Sonny out, got his closest people killed, and then vanished like a ghost in the night. Sonny never caught him. It's one of his greatest failures. And now, I am realizing, Z is the traitor. The head of the WSB, this mysterious, powerful international intelligence director, is a former mob rat who nearly killed Sonny Corinthos decades ago. Like, my brain is exploding. How did a mob traitor climb the ranks of the WSB? Did the WSB plant him in Sonny's organization back then? No wait, that doesn't make sense because the timeline. Or does it? Actually, let's think about this. If Z was WSB all along, and he infiltrated Sonny's Puerto Rico operation, that means the government has been playing a long game against Sonny for decades. But then again, that doesn't explain why Z would leave a scar. Usually, spies are better at not getting slashed in the neck during undercover operations. Or maybe he wasn't WSB back then. Maybe he was just a criminal who made a deal with the government, sold out the Puerto Rican underworld to save his own skin, and got a shiny new identity. And because he was so good at being ruthless and calculating, the WSB just kept promoting him until he became Z. It's brilliant. It's terrifying. It makes me second guess every single interaction the WSB has ever had with Port Charles. Has Z been pulling the strings this whole time? Was he the one who ordered Cullum to go rogue? No, wait. Valentine said Cullum was dirty, but maybe Z is even dirtier? But let's get back to the hospital room, because I am losing my mind over what happens next. Sonny doesn't say a word. He doesn't monologue. He doesn't give a dramatic, gravelly voiced speech about betrayal and loyalty. He just steps forward, winds up, and delivers a brutal, devastating right hook straight to Z's jaw. Just bam. The head of the WSB, the most powerful spy in the world, drops to the linoleum floor of General Hospital like a sack of potatoes. I literally screamed at my screen. I mean, who punches the director of an international intelligence agency in a hospital room? Sonny Corinthos. That's who. But also, what is he thinking? You have to look at Carly and Lucas in this moment. Carly is mid-sentence, probably telling Z to go straight to hell and leave her daughter alone, and then suddenly Z is unconscious on the floor. Carly's face is a mix of absolute shock and, let's be honest, probably a little bit of dark satisfaction because she hates the guy. But Lucas? Lucas is a doctor. He's standing there in his scrubs, and his former stepfather just assaulted a federal, international official in his hospital. Lucas looks like he wants to dissolve into the floorboards. He's probably thinking about the paperwork, the police, the hospital board. It's a disaster. It's a total, unmitigated disaster. And of course, chaos erupts. Hospital security rushes in, but what are they gonna do? It's Sonny Corinthos. But this isn't just some random guy Sonny hit. This is Z. Z probably has heavily armed WSB agents stationed in the parking lot, in the lobby, maybe even disguised as orderlies. By punching Z, Sonny didn't just assault a man, he declared war on the WSB. And he did it in front of witnesses. In a public hospital, where his wounded ex-stepdaughter is recovering. It's so reckless. I know I just said it was classic Sonny, but hear me out. This is a new level of reckless. Why didn't he wait? Okay, so I've been thinking about this, and if Sonny knew this guy was the traitor from Puerto Rico, why not play it cool? Why not pretend he didn't recognize him? Wait for Z to leave the hospital, and then have Brick track him down. That's the smart mob boss move. You don't punch the guy in public where there are cameras and doctors. You take him out in private. But Sonny couldn't control himself. The trauma and the rage from that Puerto Rico betrayal must run so deep that his rational brain just shut off entirely. The scar triggered a visceral, unstoppable reaction. It shows how much that specific betrayal hurt him. It wasn't just business. It was personal. It was blood. But now, the geopolitical implications. Oh my god. The implications. The relationship between Sonny and the government is completely, irrevocably shattered. I mean, it was never great. He's a mob boss. But there was always this weird, unspoken détente, especially when Jason was working with the WSB, or when Anna Devane was commissioner. There were lines they didn't cross. Sonny just crossed the biggest line imaginable. You don't assault the head of the WSB and walk away. The WSB has black sites. They have drones. They have unlimited jurisdiction and zero oversight. They could disappear Sonny tomorrow, and no one would ever know. And it's not just Sonny. It's the whole Corinthos family. Z was already trying to recruit Jocelyn. Now that Sonny has humiliated and assaulted him, Z is going to make it his personal mission to destroy everything Sonny loves. The WSB will target Carly. They'll target Michael. They'll target Christina and Dante. Oh wait, Dante! Dante is a cop. How is Dante going to handle the fact that his father just assaulted a top-tier intelligence director? Joe Fitzpatrick and the PCPD are already breathing down everyone's necks about the Cassius Faison mess and the Jen Sidwell escape. Now they have to deal with a federal assault charge at GH. Dante's career might be over just by association. Let's think about Z's perspective for a second. He wakes up on the floor of a hospital with a bruised jaw and a concussion. He's a man of immense pride and power. He's not going to just arrest Sonny. That's too simple. That's too boring. He's going to use the full weight of the WSB to dismantle Sonny's empire piece by piece, just like he tried to do in Puerto Rico all those years ago. But this time, he has the resources of a global spy network. He might use Jocelyn as leverage. He might use Jason. Wait, Jason is back, and Danny just defended him at the PCPD. Does Z know Jason is back? If Z controls the WSB, he definitely knows about Jason's time at the black site in Jakarta. He might use Jason as a weapon against Sonny. What if Z forces Jason to choose between his freedom and Sonny's life? What was I saying? Oh, right, Jocelyn. Poor Jocelyn is just lying in that hospital bed. She just survived a gunshot wound. She survived Ross Cullum. And now her hospital room is ground zero for an international mob spy war. I feel like this is going to push Jocelyn further away from Sonny. She's going to see him as a liability. Or maybe it will push her towards the WSB? If she sees Sonny acting like an unhinged thug, maybe she decides Z is right. Maybe she joins the WSB just to get away from the mob violence, ironically stepping right into a different kind of violence. But then again, she loves Carly, and Carly hates the WSB. It's a massive conflict of interest, and Jocelyn's head must be spinning even more than mine is. I can't stop thinking about how messy this is going to get. Sonny has faced Cyrus Renault, he's faced Jen Sidwell, he's faced the Jeromes and the Zacharas, but he has never faced the actual government with a deeply personal vendetta. Z is the ghost from his past, resurrected with unlimited power. And Sonny just gave him the perfect excuse to strike. I need to go rewatch the Puerto Rico episodes from like a decade ago. Did they ever show this guy's face? I think it was mostly shadows and mentions of a traitor. The writers have been sitting on this lore for years. Or maybe they just made it up now. I don't know. I don't even care. It's brilliant, but also so stressful. The Corinthos family is in the crosshairs, and there is no way they all survive this without some major casualties. Okay, I need to sleep, but my brain is just gonna keep looping that punch. Bam. Right in the jaw. Incredible. But so stupid.